It's another book haul. Hi everyone, I'm back today with another book haul. I have 5 books here to haul. 2 of them were sent to me by publishers, 3 of them I bought myself, and let's get cracking with these. We'll start with the 3 that I bought myself. The first one that we have is Keep Your Friends Close by Paula Daly. If you remember, a while ago I read and absolutely loved Just What Kind of Mother Are You by Paula Daly, and then I read another one by her which I quite enjoyed, not as much as Just What Kind of Mother Are You, but still enough that I have now bought a 3rd book by Paula Daly. It's about 2 best friends, and the woman, she trusts her best friends with her life, and it says you would trust your best friend with your husband and your kids, wouldn't you? And it says that when your daughter is rushed into hospital, you're grateful that she steps up and starts looking after things while you're away. And then it says, but your best friend isn't who you think she is, and you're about to find out just how wrong you were. And this put me in the mind of a film, quite an old film, and I'm not sure if any of you will have seen it. It's called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and it's about a woman who gets a job as a nanny, and she basically turns out to be a complete nightmare situation. And I really enjoy that film. It is an old one, I think it's from the 80s, and it's just one of my favourite 80s movies. And it's not very well known, I don't know many people who have actually watched it, but if you're into sort of thrillers and 80s movies, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is definitely a good one to watch. But the synopsis of this really put me in the mind of that, and that sort of feel of someone moving into your house and moving into your life and trying to take over a bit. And there's something about that intrigues me and terrifies me in equal measure. So I can't wait to give this a go, and I hope it's as good as her other books. And the next book that I've got is this one, Scary Old Sex by Arlene Hayman. This is a collection of short stories, and from what I gather it's about what goes on in people's minds, relationships and bedrooms. And I haven't read very many short story collections, but this really interested me. I'll just read to you a little bit. It says, a woman goes about certain rituals of sex with her second husband while sharing the bed with the ghosts of a sexual past. A beautiful young art student embarks upon an affair with a much older married famous artist. A middle-aged woman struggles with the decline of her mother, once glamorous and still commanding their fraught relationship, causing unexpected feelings both shaming and brutal. A man finds that his father has died whilst in the midst of extramarital sex and wonders what he should do with the body, and a boy sits in his calculus class fantasising about a schoolmate's breasts and worrying about his father lying in hospital as outside his classroom window the Twin Towers begin to fall. So it seems like quite a diverse collection of people, and there's something about it just interests me, and I can't even explain what it is, but I'm very excited to give this a go and see what I make of it, and I'll let you all know obviously. The next book that I've got is Nerve by Jean Ryan, and it basically, it says now major motion picture. I've not seen the film of this. This is a YA, and it says, are you playing the game or is the game playing you? And from what I can gather, it's about an online gaming setup where you play increasingly risky games to get the star prize at the end. And it says, how far is she willing to go? Are they willing to risk their lives to get the star prize whilst people are egging them on and watching? So it sounds a little bit sort of like a sinister sort of dark web style website that's going to set them up with increasingly sort of daring dares, if you will, to win their prize. And I'm not expecting it to be too dark because it is YA, so it's not going to be too grim, I wouldn't imagine. But it was enough to sort of pull me in and make me think that it might be actually worth a go. Now I'm going to talk about the 2 books that have been sent from publishers, and the first one that I've got here is Seas of Snow by Carenza Jennings. First of all, can I just point out just how beautiful that cover is? Look at that. But just how beautiful is that cover? There's something just, I don't know, I can't even explain. I really like that cover. And this is an interesting one. One of the things that really interested me is that the author is a former BBC News editor, and she was in charge of the news coverage of the Soham murder case. Now, if you don't remember the Soham murder case, or you're not from the UK, it was where 2 little girls went missing, and it was the school summer holidays, and they just disappeared, 2 best friends, and they were there was a huge search for them. And as always happens in missing children cases, you get the friends, the family, discussing their personal encounters with the children and the people who know them best, and it really those sort of things help the public to envisage the missing children as people and not just as a statistic, and one of the people that was standing forward there was showing a card. He was the school caretaker. He was showing a card that the girls had made for him, and it turned out that he'd actually taken the girls and killed them. And he was brazen as anything, standing on camera talking about these girls missing and saying how upset he was about it, and his girlfriend was there too, discussing it too, while she knew all along what he'd done. And it turned out it was him, and he had actually very tragically murdered both the little girls. And it was such a huge case, and it's one of the cases that, I mean, I was a child at the time of it happening. I was older than the girls that went missing, but it stuck with me as being a horrible, horrible case. Through the summer holidays, the girls had gone missing, and it was just awful, obviously. And it is the events of that inspired the author to write a novel such as this, after sort of understanding the mentality of the killer. And it's a story of a girl who really enjoys poetry. When her psychopathic uncle Joe enters her life, is poetry enough? And what I enjoy about this is that it says it alternates between sort of modern day North Tyneside, which is where I was born, where I grew up, and North Tyneside is obviously very dear to me. And I like reading books that are set around where I'm either from or where I live now, or places I have been, and so it just makes it a little bit more interesting to me. And it jumps between 1950s North Tyneside, when Gracie was a little girl, and her uncle moves in and he starts to abuse her mother, and then eventually starts turning his attentions to Gracie. And then it bounces to modern day North Tyneside, where Gracie is an old woman in a nursing home now. And I'm assuming that there's going to be sort of jumping back and forth between memories and things like that. And along the way she had a friend called Billy who lived next door to her, and they escaped the horrors around them by delving into a world of sort of poetry and their imagination. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to be written. It sounds brilliant. So yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a go, and I'll let you all know what I think of it. And the final book that I've got here is The People at Number 9. This again sounds exactly like the type of thing that I buy so much, so I'll just read it to you. When Gav and Lou move into the house next door, Sarah spends days waiting for the right moment to say hello. The new neighbours are glamorous, chaotic and eccentric. They make Sarah and her husband Neil seem dull by comparison, or so Sarah thinks. As the two couples become friends, they find themselves sharing supper and bottles of red wine, trading secrets late into the night. But soon, Gavin and Lou will be asking things of Sarah and Neil that they've no right to ask of their neighbours, with shattering consequences for all of them. And then it says, meet the new neighbours, whose side are you on? I've got so many exciting books to read at the moment. I've got such a huge pile of things I can't wait to get read. I really need to just take myself off on a reading holiday. So those are the 5 books that I've got. Have you got any of them? Have you read any of them? And if you have, don't give me any spoilers, but give me a heads up if any of them are better than the other. And I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.